So they did it. They finally did it. I'm like amazed right now. The Super Mario Brothers movie came out on Wednesday. Came out a little early because of Easter Friday, Easter weekend. I didn't get to see it on Wednesday, so I only saw it today. Today is Saturday. So I saw it early this afternoon. It was just fantastic. I was kind of blown away by it. I did say this. I'll play the clip.
Chris Pratt with Mario. Mario's voice kind of just sounds generic, which is okay, I guess, but maybe it should have been, I don't know, maybe it should have been a little more high pitched, like a little bit like, yeah, like, I don't know, it went from like, yeah, to, hey guys, I'm Mario.
About Chris Pratt's voice because I was a little bit underwhelmed with those first few trailers that we got, but in the context of this movie, he really did a great job, and shout out to the entire voice cast for this thing. They like absolutely crushed it. Everyone did their thing and came in and played their role perfectly. So no complaints with the voice work. Really phenomenal job. It's hard because I just can't praise this movie enough. The visuals, the animation looks stunning. Like just the fact that this is like a fully animated movie. It's not like in the real world with real humans and then Mario's animated there. Like this is just a full-on animated movie that looks gorgeous. It really looks good. I was a little bit unsure about Mario's design with some of the early artwork we were getting. He looked a little bit creepy there, not gonna lie, but in the actual film all the characters look fantastic. This movie is really like a love letter to Nintendo fans and just Mario fans in general. They really just give you so many, they hit you over the head with Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg. It really makes me want to go back and watch the movie again just to see how many Easter eggs I can find. And maybe if you don't want spoilers, stop the video here because I might mention a couple things that are a little bit spoilery. Like in the beginning of the movie, they're in Brooklyn and they're doing their plumbing job and they're going to this rich house trying to fix the sink or whatever. In the house, in one of the scenes, you see a Pikmin statue. Like that's just so cool to have little Nintendo Easter eggs in there. And also Pikmin. Pikmin is, I mean, the games have sold well, but it's kind of like a more obscure Nintendo franchise. But Nintendo's really trying to push it and make it like their minions, I guess, which if Illumination does that Pikmin movie eventually, that would be perfect. Yeah, just little references like that I really liked. Mario's like playing Kid Icarus in one scene, like really cool stuff in this movie. The movie was so fast paced, I never got bored during a certain scene or anything like that. It just really kept, pushing along throughout the whole thing. It never stayed on one thing too long. It was always just on to the next thing. I found that this is like a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 if I'm being harsh movie, but the one thing that they could have done a little bit better that I think that Pixar does really well with their movies is the character development. Like the characters were developed a little bit here and there, but certain characters were developed less than others. Like Donkey Kong, you don't really know much about him. He's like, oh, I'm trying not to disappoint my dad. Cranky Kong, he thinks I'm just showboating. Ugh. But then like they never go into that any deeper. They mention that just to kind of give him some character, and then they just leave that behind completely. And Toad is barely in this movie. You barely like hear about him. He's just kind of there as like, I'm Mario's guide for a little bit. Oh, now I'm gone. Oh, now I'm back as Mario's guide again. Oh, now I'm gone again. It's kind of certain characters, like I get that there has to be those minor characters, but they could have just fleshed them out a little bit more. The main focus really is on like Mario and Luigi, but Luigi's kind of gone for most of the movie, so then focus just gets put on Mario mostly. When Luigi isn't there, the focus is kind of shifted to Mario and Peach, or Bowser and Bowser's relationship that he's trying to forge with Peach. And that's just one thing that if they ever do a second movie, which they likely will because this I'm sure sold very well, but in a future movie I'd love to see a little bit more attention to detail in that regard, just a little bit more character development. But the characters were great. Bowser, you know, he's trying to like win Peach over and he's jealous of Mario, and he's like singing, which I think that Jack Black pulled off the singing kind of like very well. He does a good job, but I just kind of felt that it was not necessary for this movie. Like, why does he have to sing? What, like, if they removed that part entirely from the movie, there would have been nothing lost, you know? Like, what did we really gain from having that singing part? Like, nothing really. So it was kind of whatever. They threw in the singing as like a little joke, but it's not a scene where everyone was like laughing their head off during that scene. They do it once during the movie, and then during the credits they do it again. It's like, really, you guys thought this was good enough to like pull back on this again? Like, I don't know. That was another thing that I didn't really care for. It's not something that bothered me or that I hated. It was just, yeah, I didn't care for that really. Now, super spoiler, after the credits there's another scene that plays where you see like the Brooklyn sewers where Mario finds Mario and Luigi find the original pipe that brings them to the Mushroom Kingdom. You get a shot of that after the credits, and you see a Yoshi egg that's about to hatch, and then right as it hatches, it cuts to black, and you just hear Yoshi. You hear Yoshi's little Yoshi noise, but you don't actually see him. So it's heavily like hinted at that the next movie is gonna have Yoshi in it, if it's not a full-on like Yoshi's Island movie. I assume it'll just be Mario Bros 2 like with Yoshi. That'll probably be a bit better than just having like a full-on Yoshi movie. I don't know how they would really make that work. But yeah, overall I was very impressed by this movie. At the beginning of the movie, I mean, I'm just like spoiling the whole thing at this point. You do see Mario and Luigi in a restaurant, and they're excited about their plumbing business, and then to the right of them is Mario's grandpa playing on a Donkey Kong cabinet, but it doesn't say Donkey Kong on it. It says Jumpman, which is Mario's like original name. Like a little Easter egg there. And then you hear him go like wahoo, or like say something Mario-esque. And that's Charles Martinet, the original voice of Mario in the movie as Mario's grandpa. So it was nice that they right off the bat, when you first see Mario and Luigi, they're like instantly going, okay, here's Charles Martinet, the original voice of Mario. Like, just gotta get that out of the way instantly. So that was just nice that they set it up that way. And I mentioned before that there wasn't much character development in this movie, but the one character that they really developed was Mario, of course. He's like having trouble with his family, and his family doesn't believe in him, and he has to overcome it. And the movie's called the Super Mario Brothers movie, but it should really be called the Super Mario movie, because it's really like all about him. Luigi spends most of the movie like locked up in a cage, so they can't really develop him that much. It's mostly about Mario and his relationship with Luigi and relationship with everyone, basically. Fantastic movie. There's been a lot of comparison online recently with the Sonic movie and this. You can't compare them. First of all, they're apples and oranges, so you can't compare them. And this is coming from a Sonic fan. This movie is leagues above what they're doing with the Sonic movies. So for Sonic movie 3, they have to really step it up, because this just knocked it out of the park for me, and I'm sure for many other people too. They just have everything in there. They have the music cues from the original Mario games, but like orchestrated beautifully. They have the really incredible animation. The voice work is great. The writing was good. There wasn't any like cringe moments really where I was like, ugh. Like the singing maybe, but even that I didn't like cringe it. Like, it was fine. So the writing was great. It's just that character development could have used like a little bit more to make you like really care for each of the characters. The one thing that really bothered me about this movie, it's not even an issue with the movie, it's more so with the marketing team. So Universal, maybe tell your marketing team to chill a little bit. But Nintendo probably had a hand in this too, I guess, since they had a huge hand in these movies, which they should continue to do that. Nintendo, you're probably a huge reason why this movie is as good as it is, to be honest, because I was very skeptical about this movie going into it because of Illumination and their track record of being like kind of mediocre. But with this, they've really stepped it up, so they have to keep it up, you know? But big issue that I had was that they dropped like 3 or 4 trailers and then clips on clips and advertisements, each one showing like new clips from the movie that we hadn't seen before. And when I finally went into the movie, Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering what this thing on my lap is, it's a Rila Kuma pillow thing. But yeah, when I finally went into this movie, I was kind of disappointed that I saw most of the movie already. Like, I saw the Mario Kart scene on Rainbow Road. I saw Mario and Toad going through the town before getting to the castle. Mario going through the pipes, like, in that wacky little scene before he gets to the castle. I've seen clips of Peach and the Toads inside the castle. I've seen, like, them doing that little test course thing. Multiple clips of that. I've seen the Mario, like, Donkey Kong fighting scenes. I've seen Luigi running from the dry bones and getting locked in cages. Like, there wasn't much else left to the movie after seeing all these clips. I've seen clips of Bowser and his minions, and I saw all of that beforehand, before even getting into the movie. So it was just, by the time I saw the movie, there wasn't much left. Like, there was the parts of Mario in Brooklyn. I hadn't seen that. There was the end battle, of course. I hadn't seen that. And there was some stuff with Donkey Kong that I hadn't seen, but for the most part, a lot of it was stuff that I had seen during all these trailers. So that was kind of disappointing, honestly. I wish that for the next one, really just don't show us as much. Don't show us as much. I want to go in almost blind and then be pleasantly surprised or something. I just want to experience some of these moments for the first time, because I think that because I saw a lot of it already, it felt like a little bit less special, you know, because I'd already seen it. So the magic was kind of lost a little bit, which is a little bit disappointing for me. Just that was my personal experience when watching the movie. And it's kind of a shame because it's such an incredible, like, very well done. They put in so much effort to this. Weren't they working on this for like 3 years? Like, it really does show. But yeah, just don't show me. Don't show me beforehand. And I know I could have just avoided the trailers, I guess, and not watched anything and went into it blind. But I'm like online constantly and everyone's reacting to it and it's all over my timeline. It gets kind of hard to avoid it, you know? I'm really glad that I didn't see that Yoshi scene after the credits on YouTube or something, because it happened to me with Sonic Movie 2. I saw the clip of Shadow the day before I went to go see that movie, so that was very disappointing that it got spoiled, so I was glad that that didn't happen this time. But yeah, that's really all I have to say on this movie. I think because they had so many characters in this movie, they weren't able to spend as much time on each of them. Like, I'm looking at this poster right now, Mario, Luigi, Peach, this blue, like, Koopa who's only in literally one scene, Magic Koopa, Toad, Donkey Kong, Bowser. It doesn't have enough time to just, like, really flesh out each of these characters because the movie's only an hour and a half long. So it ends up just only focusing on Mario mostly, and then the rest of them kind of get shafted a bit, which is a little bit disappointing. But overall, like, I can't complain much. This movie really exceeded all my expectations. And it really got me excited for what's ahead, because I know that now they're going to do stuff with Yoshi. They're going to maybe do a Donkey Kong movie. They're going to do, you know, there's so much that they can do with it now. They can do Pikmin. They can do whatever they feel like doing. They can do more, I don't know, if they want to do a Pokemon Illumination, which maybe that'll happen. I don't know. Apparently they're building a Pokemon section in Universal Studios, so I assume they're probably going to jump into that whole thing eventually. But yeah, I'm just really excited for what's ahead, and I'd like to thank everyone at Universal, Nintendo, Illumination for bringing us this movie that's really just catered to all of the people who love these games so much and grew up with them, and who just love every single detail about Nintendo and Mario, and they really just gave us all of these details in this movie. So I know in the next movie they'll probably have Yoshi and Wario, maybe Waluigi, Daisy, but it's going to be too many characters, so they really have to work on that character development aspect and really flesh out each one before just like throwing even more characters at us, because more isn't always better. Sometimes it's quality over quantity, so maybe just keep that in mind when working on the next one. But anyway, that's going to be it for me. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and comment down below, and subscribe to your boy as always. We're trying to hit our goal of 10,000 subscribers, so if you guys could subscribe, that would really mean the world to me. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace, peace, peace.